Hi everyone, this is Laura McInerney with Turnkey Office. I have a video here to help people with understanding a common issue in QuickBooks Online, which is called, what is that unapplied cash payment income? So that's going to actually make us do a little bit of a deeper dive here. So in terms of what is a cash basis report versus an accrual basis report, and then also, just as importantly, what are the differences between desktop and online, and also some reports that I think are really, really critical for you to look at and monitor to help you prevent the unapplied cash payment income issue. So I am in a sample company here, and I have a accrual basis report. I have a couple of transactions already posted in here to save time so that I can show you what happens and where this comes from. So if you notice, I have a P&L that I have just for one day, January 1st, 2025, and I have an accrual basis report, and I'm showing $1,000 of design income for this firm. If I switch to cash basis and click Run Report, I'm going to see this weird unapplied cash payment income. So what is that? What's creating that, and why is it a problem? Basically, with QuickBooks Online, if you have a receive payment function and you have not applied it to an invoice, it's going to show as unapplied cash payment income. Your bank account reconciliation will be fine. If I drill down into this transaction, what I'll see here is that I received $750 from the client Gita Kalapatudu, and we've deposited it to checking. So in this case, our bank reconciliation is going to be fine, but our P&L is wrong. I think a common misconception is that if you reconcile the bank account, everything should be good. That is not the case at all, really, with any accounting system. So that's one piece that should be relied upon, but there are others. So in this case, we have not applied this invoice. Now, how can this happen? This can happen for a number of reasons. I'm not going to go into all of them. Some could be that the payment was received before the invoice was generated, or the client's name changed for some reason. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to apply this to this invoice. I'm going to change it back to $750 because that was what was received on this day, on 1/1/2025. I'm going to now apply it. We haven't changed our bank reconciliation because we have not changed the amount here. I'm going to go ahead and hit save and close. And now I have applied this cash payment income to the original invoice. And now you see it's changed from unapplied cash payment income to design income. So what the P&L is doing, what the financial reports in QuickBooks are doing, they're excluding from that P&L any invoices or bills, for that matter, that are not closed to payments. So if you notice on here now, we're picking up the actual income that's created by the invoice itself. But it's still not right. If you look at the accrual basis report, our actual invoice was for $1,000. If you look at customers, if you look at reports, this is kind of another clue that something's going on. If you look at accounts receivable, 01/01/2020, let's do a 1/02/2025. Okay, run report. We have Gita here, and she has a zero balance. Well, how can that be? She had a $1,000 invoice. We've only received $750 on the 1/1/2025, and she has a $0 invoice here. So one of the things that we see, which kind of is a clue that something is wrong, is if you run an AR aging summary and you see a client here that's posted that has $0, there's a problem. Because what that's telling you is that there's a credit and an invoice that are balancing each other, so the client doesn't owe you money, but it should be gone. There shouldn't be anything in this report. So this is one clue that there's a problem. So if I go back to my report and I look at my profit and loss, okay, I'm going to only see, run report, I'm only going to see the 750. So how did that invoice get closed? How did the accounts receivable show $0 when we know that the invoice was for $1,000 and we've only applied 750 and we're only showing 750 in our profit and loss? So there's one report in here which is really, really critical. And it's so critical that I'm going to show you at the end of this video how to set it up and customize it to email to yourself automatically so that you can check it, especially if you're working with a cash basis tax filer. This is really only applicable if you're running cash basis reports. So the report, the magic report, if you go to reports and you go to the Who Owes You category, this open invoices report. So this open invoices report, we're gonna pull this for 1/1/25 because this is when my test transactions are. That's fine, for 1/20/25. And we look down here at Gita and we see that she has an invoice and a journal entry. So journal entries are a little different. I see a lot, believe it or not, I see a lot of people, especially if they're coming from a CPA or an accounting background, that instead of using the receive payment function, they will make a journal entry. From an accrual-based accounting standpoint, they are one and the same. But from how QuickBooks treats them standpoint, they are very different. If you remember from the prior example, our 750, that 750 was done with a receive payment function. It credited the accounts receivable account and it showed up in the P&L as unapplied cash payment income. Journal entry methods do not. So you do not have any kind of a clue that there's unapplied cash payment income here. And to prove it, I'm going to show you a P&L cash basis dated 1/2/2025. Okay? So let's go back to reports. Reports, profit and loss. 01/02/2025, 01/02/2025. Cash basis. Now we know we received $250 in cash. Remember, we have a journal entry that debits checking, credits accounts receivable for $250. Cash basis report, we are showing no income here. That's a big problem. We're not even showing we don't even have a clue that we received income here. And people can ask, well, my bank account reconciled. Why do I have a problem? Well, you still have a problem because you're not showing this income on the P&L on a cash basis report. So how do we find and how do we 100% fix this problem from happening? If you go to reports and you go back to open invoices, you can see in here report period. Just pick. Won't let me type in, which I don't like. 01/02/2025. Okay, you can see in here I have a negative number. So whenever you run this report and you're looking at negative numbers, you know you have something that's not applied. So how do you get it applied? The easiest way to do that is to go into receive payments, because you have to sort of trick QuickBooks and tell it you're using this receive payment function that you are applying this. You find the client. Okay, now you're in receive payments. The important part of applying a previously existing journal entry to an existing invoice is that you want to make sure that this amount received here is 0. You're not receiving any new cash. All you're doing is taking this prior entry and applying it to close out this invoice for the purposes of making it show on a P&L. So we're going to do this. We're going to make the payment date the same as the journal entry date. Okay, journal entry is 1/2. The payment date's going to be this, and we're going to hit save and close. Now, if we go back to our reports, I'm going to hit rerun report here. As of run report. So our open invoices report now is not showing Gita anymore. We don't have her $250 in here as an unapplied payment. So now if we go to P&L, profit and loss, I'll show you. And I'm going to break this down by day so we can see exactly what's going on. Okay, on 1/2/2025, I see now the $750 that was done with the original received payment, and now I'm finally seeing the $250 that we know we got as a journal entry on 1/2/2025 for a total of $1,000. The only difference between this now, from an accounting standpoint, it's the same. From an accrual standpoint, we're seeing it all post on 1/1 because that's when the invoice is. And from a cash basis, we're showing it as correlated to actually when the cash payments were received, which is exactly what you want. But you don't see this in your P&L if these are not applied. So bear with me. I have one quick trick I want to show you, which is really important because this is such a common issue. With QuickBooks Online, with Desktop, you need to review this, sort of put it as a tickler to remind yourself to go look at this. And again, with Desktop, you don't even have the clue of seeing that there's an unapplied cash payment income. It just will not show at all. But what I recommend you to do is go to this open invoices report, do something to customize it. You can call it, you can just change the header or footer. It's important you have to customize it because you can't schedule reports unless they're custom reports. Open invoices for review. Okay, run report, and let's pick all dates. Okay, it's important to pick all dates. Okay, and then we save customization. And then the cool thing is, if you go to custom reports here in QuickBooks, see where this says unscheduled, you can make this email you every month. Just turn on the email schedule and just have it do monthly every month on the first of the month. Put your email address in here and boom, you get an automated report you can take a look at every month or every quarter, and just to make sure that you don't have any unapplied payments or credits, and get those cleaned up so that you can actually produce accurate cash basis financials. I hope this has been helpful. If you have any questions, feel free to drop me a line and I'll do my best to answer them. Have a great day. Thanks.